This week on Beyond Worlds podcast, we have a little review of the Monster Hunter series, namely World and Iceborne from our playthrough.
We also jump into the beta of Wilds, not for a huge amount of time, but get our views on what we think so far.
So come and join us.
In another world. Welcome back to the Beyond Worlds podcast. I'm Beyond Joe.
And I remain Stephen today. Sunday Stephen.
Sunday Stephen. Oh, I like that.
And
I'm Sunday Stephen.
Still.
There's a reason we're in a hat.
See how dirty my mug is. Great.
Hello world, look at my mug.
Fucking it's coffee. It's water and coffee grounds again.
It's lucky it's not just like a bag intravenously being.
Yeah.
Might as well be when it comes to coffee. Oh, I do love a coffee. Yes. So this week, this week.
Yeah, we're gonna do. We've sort of technically finished the main Monster Hunter World Iceborne storyline. Yes. So we're going to have a little chat about that. And then the Wilds beta, dropped a couple of days ago. Well, we couldn't play it yesterday, really, because of the server outage.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll extend it.
I would think Capcom would. Maybe they'll probably do...
Like an extra day.
I'm sure there's another weekend for it, though.
Really?
And there are 2 weekends for it. I think they're doing it over Valentine's weekend as well.
Oh yeah, I think I saw somewhere about Night Rain, and they're both like competing. Yeah. So because that's also Valentine's weekend is Night Rain, the new Elden Ring game. So sorry about. No, well, so long as the PSN network is so. Before we get into the Monster Hunter, a couple of things about PSN network being down that opened my eyes a little bit as a historian and a collector of physical games. The new PS5s with the additional disk drives that you have to get separately. Disk drive does not work unless it has an internet PSN connection.
Yep, people were saying.
So you think you're going to be playing your games after the network goes down, like you can with Wii U and whatever physical? No, it's gone. Nope. Oh my god.
The subreddit was hilarious yesterday. It went through a phase of people going like, "Oh, I moved to Xbox." To people busting out PS2s. PS3's servers were still running. People playing Black Ops 2 on PS3.
That's hilarious. I love that.
What else? PS1s were getting busted out. Then there was the obligatory pets. Here's my pet. And then it was rage at just no updates. And then it was just the odd, I'm back. And then people complaining that the only game that was available was Fortnite. Once for 2-3 hours before it came back, you could get on and play Fortnite.
That's clever as well. They were like, okay, what are most people going to be miffed about? Get the kids back onto Fortnite quick so that the parents stop moaning.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They restored that connection real quick. I was bugged out because it was like Friday night. I was playing PoE and I'd just gone into a trial of Secamus. I was all like hyped up to do it, my new build. I've done it once before, but just go again. And I literally put my tablet in, went up to the door, opened the door, boom, disconnected. I was like, what the fuck? And I know that happens sometimes there. So I was like, I go back in and cannot authenticate login. What the fuck is going on here? Closed the game, restored the license, tried everything, and then I went online. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I saw what the hell was going on.
I had a similar situation. So the next morning, I actually read about the PSN network being down. Didn't think anything of it. Went to stream, and me and you have been. So Steam has been streaming, which is fantastic. You see some Path of Exile streams there up on YouTube this weekend, and they've been live on Twitch as he's been doing them. Another Wilds.
I told you guys.
Beta.
Anyone that watches them, I told you. I said Joe have him up on YouTube because he's great.
Yep. They're up there. And
I play the games, he does the work. I can deal with that.
But so because of that, so we had a bit of teething problems with passwords and logging in, so I had to update some bits that way. So I had assumed something had happened like that because it was just like can't stream at all when I tried to do it. And I was like, this is weird. But then I realized that you can stream from YouTube and Twitch. So I was like, well, surely if there's a problem with our Twitch, something should still be working. And that's when I was like, oh, no, I just can't stream. So my little planned Astrobot playing didn't go to plan, but I did finish it last night. Woohoo!
Nice.
I spent 3.5 hours, nearly 4 hours to just get the game done. I needed it done. Not 100%, but the game is finished. So
I finished my Astray, as you saw with the pictures.
Oh yeah, your Gunpla.
And then I was just like, no, I need to play something. So I know you can play World offline, so I played that.
Oh, sick!
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. It's got offline mode.
Oh, very, very cool.
Yeah, it's nifty. Got a new gun. It's pretty.
Got a new gun. So let's get back into it. So this is our Monster Hunter World / Iceborne beta chat. Not Iceborne beta, Wilds beta. There's so many names in Monster Hunter now. It's so many games, so many names. You played World when it came out, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it when it came out, but it didn't feel done to me at the time. I don't know. I was a bit of a Monster Hunter Elite purist. Freedom was the only Monster Hunter game. Like I played like 4U and a couple of the DS ones, and I played a bit on my Switch, and I really enjoyed Generations Ultimate. Actually, that is one of my favorite Monster Hunters. But I don't know. It felt like there was I don't know. I just didn't get quite on with it straight away. I finished it and was like, oh, is this it? Yeah, and that's sort of how it felt. And I came back to it a few years later after Iceborne dropped. But not even then. It was I got it on sale. Like it was like, oh, let's start again.
Yeah.
To try and figure out the game. And that was my super big character.
Yeah. Your super duper character. So when you first started, were you playing with the guys? Were you playing with a group, or was it mainly solo?
I played with Louis a bit and with Ken a bit. Ken was Ken and did his typical. Me and Louis played together, and then me and Ken. When Ken would join, he would have just been like rushing with randoms the whole time. Because he loves that sort of. He loves playing with people. It doesn't matter who they are. So he would then be like ages ahead of us. Well, not ages, but he'd just be way ahead of us and be like, "Oh, well, I want to go hunt this instead." So we did play together, obviously, but not too much. And then World and Iceborne, I've played a lot with Joe, the guy's cousin, and with Louis again. But Iceborne mainly with their cousin. To be honest, we would over during COVID. Me and him would just all day. We were just
really
wrecking shit. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a good time.
Because my experience, I think I've mentioned it loads of times, but I was in Canada when it came out, and I really, really, really wanted World. By this point, I was so into Monster Hunter, but the time differences,
and you had mountains and snowboards.
It was hard to game back then. Like I played a ton of Destiny 2 because everyone plays Destiny in the middle of the night anyway, so that kind of worked for me. So I had my friends, like the guys who play Destiny, I could play that with. But with other games, it missed it. So I missed the big introduction. I missed the big playing. And then when Iceborne came around, a lot of the reviews were telling me, "Oh yeah, Iceborne is just for you. You have to be good. Like you have to have played the game. It's gonna kick your ass. Don't just run into it." But I didn't really find that the case when we played. I really enjoyed it.
To be fair, World, when you get the chance, I would say play again without that Guardian armor and without a defender weapon. It's very different. It's a bit more rewarding, and you sort of get the idea of building sets and stuff a bit easier, and I get the hang of thingy. But really and truthfully, it does just make it so much quicker. Getting to Iceborne, it's good to enjoy it, and it is good to learn the game without that armor and that weapon. But if we're playing multiplayer, I mean, don't want to toot my own horn, but I was going to smash it anyway
Yeah,
because I
exactly.
mean they're easy monsters. Like I even tried not using the defender weapon, and we still
You did.
smashed it. So I was like, oh fuck it, I might as well just like absolutely smash it. So
Yeah.
it the way we played it worked, but if you were playing on your own, I would say don't use those armors and that weapon
Well,
because the
yeah. So
weapon
when we
maybe,
play
but the
when
armors no.
when we play Wilds, there won't be that.
No.
So that will be like my introduction. So what I do feel for me, I needed that armor and that weapon. It'd been such a long time since I played Monster Hunter. I wanted to play with you without dragging you down. Do you know what I mean? Without
Oh yeah,
constantly
okay,
getting
I get.
carted and stuff like that. And it just worked, and that was part of my enjoyment. I think
Mm,
if there had been no Iceborne, we would have just played World
yeah,
with regular armors. But
yeah.
the fact is, we had something to get to, and it,
I
yeah,
wanted you to get to Iceborne. I think Iceborne is more enjoyable because it is
yeah.
harder. The hunts don't take 5 minutes. You actually have to work towards some things. It's useful to. I was gonna say it's useful to do side quests, but it is also useful to do the world ones. To be fair, as we saw where you started needing honey. Uh, but yeah, Iceborne is just so much fun. There's so many more monsters that way. Then,
Mm,
and we've even still got like 5, 6 to unlock.
yeah.
Maybe more. Uh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a very low rank
It's
currently,
okay,
so
Bubba. I hear you. It's all right.
wow, you can hear her
Yeah, yeah, I
just
heard
picking
it.
it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
Good mic.
Yeah, I'm weirdly. I'm like, is my settings off? How is? Maybe she's behind me, like behind the wall. I will check my settings afterwards. But yeah. While what?
Yeah, sorry,
My
baby.
mouth.
We get distracted.
World Iceborne. So what I've been really enjoying about Iceborne is the variants and the sort of exotic monsters.
Mm,
So in World we did have quite a few. But they very much were
different
right at the
colors.
end. I felt like,
Yeah,
hmm?
and then it was a different color
Yeah,
monster. It
yeah,
wasn't like a proper variant.
no.
So,
It'd
yeah,
be like, yeah, the red thing and the azure
yeah,
coral pooky. It's like, okay, yeah, but I give me a bit more.
yeah,
Which these ones in Iceborne do feel like their whole attacks change because
yeah. They do
they've
so
got a
much more.
new, yeah,
And
and
even the
it
even the
reached.
base monsters have extra attacks and stuff, and it's like they're this isn't even my final form all the way through. You do low rank, and you're like, oh yeah, cool, I can fuck them up. High rank, and they do 5 more moves. And you're like, wait, what the fuck? And they master rank
What the
again.
fuck? No, it's definitely a game that I enjoy playing with yourself. Um, I don't know how I would feel playing all on my own. When it comes to Wilds, I could see myself playing on my own to sort of stay at your level, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because that
okay.
would be my drive, is to keep being able to play with you and not drag you down as much. And when I say drag down, because you rank up in Monster Hunter, the gear that you can start getting,
Yeah,
if I was much less, there's no point in you fighting these monsters. You're not going to, well,
yeah.
not a huge point. You're just helping me, which is great. But I find it a struggle
Things
to
die.
just spend all my day helping someone for like 4 hours when I'm not getting any benefit out of it myself.
Yeah.
Is that's how I'm always with MMOs and stuff. Here and there, it's fine, but for the whole game,
I don't know.
you're
It's
just
more fun.
generous.
I get to kill monsters. It means I'll get to make like new lines of weapons and stuff. In the old games, I used to literally collect every single weapon.
That's
I would
sick.
get every like I wouldn't use them all, but I would
No,
do everything. Like that's how I had so many hours and kills on the because I'd be like, oh, that weapon just looks awesome. I'm gonna get this lance and never fucking use it. Oh, there's a great sword. There's a swordfish. Sure, I'm gonna grind out a bunch of spear tuner. Loads of stuff. So I'll go back to collecting.
that's very cool. Um, but speaking of the collecting and the crafting, that was one thing. And you mentioned when I brought it up straight away, that was something in World that it didn't click with me, especially not as it has done with other Monster Hunter games. I used to love getting the new gear, going to the new, the blacksmith, seeing what these new weapons were really simply and really easily.
Yeah,
And this sort of tiered system
it's weird.
tree thing.
It's
Yeah.
not intuitive at all. That's one of the major I'd say that's probably the biggest flaw with Monster Hunter World is that it's not intuitive for new players. So people like if someone came to Iceborne brand new, because of the way the weapons and armor system works, you probably would go with the defender weapon and other weapon because they're at the top of the tree, they're easy to see, and you can just see that the damage goes up.
Yeah.
You don't explore like you do, obviously you explore, but because you're like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Oh fuck it, I'm just going to use this for now. It does the best.
Yeah.
And yeah, it isn't particularly intuitive at all, and it doesn't give you any. It sounds silly, but it doesn't give you any tutorial to it. It's like here's the smithy.
Which I assumed I'd missed. I assumed I'd missed it as I extras through everything. So I was like, well, that's
No,
my fault. And you were like, no,
no, no, no,
no.
But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. But I still like looking for something like, wait, why can't I make it? Oh yeah, cool, wrong menu. I want to upgrade something, and I'm on the forge menu still. On oh, oops.
And that's another thing. So I was trying to upgrade a weapon, and you were like, no. You're on the wrong thing. Because unless you select that exact, you can't just upgrade all your weapon. You have to select the exact one.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah,
then go
it's not
down its
intuitive.
tree or whatever and see.
And another thing I've always loved about playing Monster Hunter is the variety of how the weapons look, dependent on the monster you've got.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was they are different, but not massively so. Especially when
Yeah.
it comes to like sword and shield and things like that. I've seen they're very very similar,
So
just like color change and stuff.
yeah, which I learned to appreciate because world is supposed. It feels like it's supposed to. I've said it before. It feels like it's supposed to be more grounded in reality. So
Yeah,
it is a case of slapping a bit of a monster onto a sword instead of having this gnarly freaking sword that's like would be impossible for a smith to make. These sort of weapons, they feel like they genuinely could be made by a smith in
mm.
those worlds. Whereas I don't know, where you go to Popo Village and you see the tiny little smithy and you see some of the gnarly shit he pulls out, like, bro, why are you working in this little village in the mountains? You're insane. Like, I gave you the head of, like, a chameleon, like, skin, and you made me a genie lamp. What the fuck? Like, how do I give you some rocks and you give me a guitar? What?
Yeah,
Like,
true. But yeah, I personally find that the Monster Hunter mythos world and stuff like that is fantasy. It is
oh yeah,
nuts. It is out there. So
this
I
is the
don't
only
care that it breaks realism.
this is the only Monster Hunter that does that though, and
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. I'm the weapon collector, so like I haven't on this because I'm like some of the cool weapons. I'm like, oh yeah, that one looks cool. I'll grab that. And event weapons do look good, but
Yes, they do.
it's like I say, it's something I learned to appreciate. Once you get to the crazy end guys, they will look mad, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I get the design choice. I don't
Yeah.
agree with it fully, but I understand, and like I said, I learned to appreciate. I
Yes.
it could be better, and I think Wilds might change that because there's already a saxophone. So,
Yeah. I've heard that. So one of the things that they are in theory, or I've heard changing up in Wilds, is that weapon system. So it's going back to the more wacky, wild,
cool.
out there sort of weapons
Fits
because
in
of
with
the
having
feedback.
the for you or whichever smithy girl it is.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So that was something that you slash Reddit slash the world have picked up in the trailer, right?
Mm,
That there is, because I wouldn't have known. I just don't. I've never paid enough attention to the
yeah.
sub characters and stuff. So that's cool.
I can't remember off the top of my head exactly if for you and Generations Ultimate are the same game. They might be, but yeah. So in that, if anyone that hasn't, there's actually a little storyline that goes through that with a group of people in a caravan called the Caravaneer, and there's a smithy. There's a bunch of characters in there, and Gemma, the smith in Wilds, has the same Yain Kutku plushie as the smith from the caravan group, and she is wearing a jacket which has got the Caravaneer logo on the back. So yeah, people were hypothesizing that it's tied in, similar. And this game, you're not a rookie hunter.
Okay.
Like, you it seems I'm pretty sure every other Monster Hunter game, you start out, you're the new hunter that's been sent to the village. You just finished your training, and you're the replacement for the old hunter that's retiring. That's the general Monster Hunter gist story.
Okay.
Even this one, I don't even World. I don't think um, you go there as a sort of rookie. Most of the people that go there are rookies, and you're learning the ropes. With this one, you were selected by the guild to go in Wilds.
Ah,
I'm pretty sure. So you're not a total noob, which sort of makes sense with like the more that you can do in Wilds. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
training the guild might just update, but yeah. I'm pretty sure you're not especially selected, but even in the beginning, like again, you probably X through it. But I think they, in the opening cutscene, after you've done character creation, like you've been selected. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember.
Yeah.
That's something I would like to do with Wilds a bit more. Is just pay attention, not massively hammer X so much. Just maybe enjoy it. I'm not gonna rush it. I'm gonna because I definitely rushed World, and I'm definitely really enjoying just taking our time with Iceborne and fighting different monsters and doing these end game stuff. I'm really enjoying what we got to in the end game, and did get schooled our first fight in end game. Absolutely schooled. I got carted twice. Yeah, it was a big learning curve. So the first monster we tried twice, I think. Was it Barroth?
Yeah, the Frostfang Barrioth. Yeah, he was an angry boy.
Wrecked us real quick the first time.
Yeah.
Second time, I thought we'd be okay. Was not.
We did better the second time, but then we got destroyed. And then Kieran
then we got.
Up.
Yeah, I was gonna say then we got fucked by Kieran.
And we fucked up Kieran.
Yeah, we did not take that laying down. And then by the time we got to Rajang, and you were genuinely like, this one maybe not. We probably shouldn't take this. Maybe we'll do something else. Fucking no carts, man. Yeah, we absolutely owned him.
I was psychological there. You see what I did? Now, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you'll have unlocked them now. We've got two super cool monsters coming up. And I don't believe we'll do these first time at all.
No,
one of them, definitely not.
Well, I definitely need to up the damage on my weapon. I need to, do a bit of grinding, get some
out
spheres.
What the next great sword for you is. I'm pretty sure we might have to do that Frosty Boy again.
Yeah.
Well, there's a cool way to play that I want to introduce you to, which is I mentioned it when we were playing Wild. Is the critical draw build. So basically, what you do is you have after you do an attack, you equip your weapon again, and I'm hoping we'll be able to get you some Frostcraft armor. But basically, what that means is that your very first attack is a guaranteed critical hit. And you clutch onto a monster and you just do that massive hit. And it will always be a critical, and it will always be a nice big number. And it's not totally safe, obviously, because sometimes the monsters fuck you up. But I've got a build for it on my main character for heavy bowgun, and it's quite fun. You just bang, or in your case, choppy chop,
chop,
and fall off, and then grab them again somewhere else, choppy chop. And then because you'll always be weakening them, once you go for an actual, you put your weapon away and just go for a big hit, it'll be all squishy. And then you get some, there's a skill called Quick Sheath, which basically, it takes a while to put away a great sword, right?
Yeah.
This you, bloop. Yeah, once you've got it back, really like level 3, it's bloop.
See, that's my biggest F up, and the time I always get done is when I'm in a combo. So I'll be like, right, I want to get this combo off, I want to hit the monster, and I'll start the combo, and it's maybe like a 4-second combo, and in second 2 it goes like unleash. I'm like, I'm fucked. I'm not moving. I can't cancel out.
So that's the thing with the shield. You can do the shoulder bash.
Yeah.
That sort of that will cancel through. If you're doing a charge, I'm pretty sure it cancels through, and it stops. You'll still take damage, but you take less from the monster because you're like absorbing some of it.
That's the sort of I need to nail that down. But the actual animation, it's like in Dark Souls and stuff. You can get animation locked, and that's what that's what I need to get
Yeah,
over
if
with the
you're
greatsword
if you're
at
in the
this
middle
level.
of the like flippy swing,
Yes, that's
yeah,
the one.
yeah,
Yeah, that's always the one. I'm like, because you do one big thing and then you come back and then you flip, and it's during the flip I get KO'd, and I
So
just need to learn not to use that flip
there's
all the time.
something that there's that see this thing. There's so much more to explore with World. Like there's more mantles you can get. You know, like the ninja one.
Yeah,
There's one called the Rocksteady mantle, which basically means you'll take damage still, not full damage when you get hit, but you won't get knocked. So it can be super dangerous because
yeah.
if you if you stand into fire or something, you go and nothing will you just keep walking. Yeah, sometimes you can fuck up with like some multi. If you think you're gonna block and you don't block, and it's like a multi-tick hit, you won't block any of them, but you'll just stand there, but you can't heal. It can
It's
fuck
really
you up
weird.
a lot. It's a double-edged sword, but it's really useful.
um, well, yeah, I just thank you so much for introducing it, and thank you for teaching me skills. I know that I definitely used skills at one point, but when I used to play Monster Hunter, because I just was self-taught and I X'd a lot of stuff, and I never used to go online and really read a lot. I would always if I was struggling with a monster, I'd be like, okay, what's its elemental attacks? Right, get the armor with that resistance.
Yeah,
That
I
would be
used
my
to do
focus.
that.
It would never be skills. It would just be about resistances, and then the weapon. I'd be like, okay, well, what's it weak against? Okay, I'll go get that weapon, and I kill that monster. Then I'd move on.
So
Rinse, repeat. It was a long process.
I mean that's how I used to play. I mean that's how you used to sort of have to play a bit. You used to
Okay.
have to play. Well, I don't know why I played fucking Freedom and Unite wrong for however many years I played. But um, elemental damage does a lot of damage, and elemental resistances are helpful. You know,
Yeah.
if you play with however you're comfortable. But look at like skills are super handy,
Yeah.
and if you can put together a good selection of skills, you're basically unstoppable. Like,
Well, talking about skills in Wilds, so if we move on a bit to Wilds, we've played the beta. You've played a half decent amount of it. I've
yeah,
jumped in a couple of times. So yeah, neither of us have played like hours and hours and hours and hours just to preface. But they've got skills on weapons now.
yeah,
Um,
there are some weapons in World that have skills on them, but they're just late game ones.
yeah,
But
it
yeah,
seems a bit
there'll
more
be
common.
yeah. They've said that they're changing the way that skills work a bit, so they will be on weapons. There'll be more of them. Decorations won't be RNG anymore. You'll be able to make all the
Ah,
base level decorations.
okay,
So I think like the high tier ones will probably still be RNG, but every level one decoration you can make now,
that's cool.
which is really useful because like having to find specific jewels, otherwise you can't. Well, you can play, but your build is just not really enabled. Like
Yeah,
like at the moment, my spread build is fun and I can play it, but it's not.
no,
It should be doing a lot more damage.
because you know what it could be doing, I guess, as well,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But there seems to be like so they didn't introduce like set skills and stuff very early into World. I think you have to get into high rank to get those, but they
Ah,
just seem to be as a standard in Wilds. So like
yes.
there was like so if you equipped one set that is from the bear thing, you can get its skill, but then there's also like armor set skills, so you can get like a gathering one, but they're all from different sets, I think. I ain't
Okay.
gonna look too closely, so I might be wrong there. They might all be the same set, but there was like a set skill tied to the monster, and then sort of like a general set skill as well, which is kind of cool. So it'd be sweet to see how you can mix and match those a bit, because the monster one had level 1 and 2, so make you get like level 1 of a monster skill, and then a cool like supplementary skill. It'd be pretty
It's
sweet.
very cool. And now I'll know how skills work. So that's really, really helpful. Again, I think previously I'd be like, oh, quick sharpening. Yeah, I'll use that. That's handy for me. But never really understand the full vast. I've never ground. I've never had to grind for skills or decorations or anything like that
Yeah,
in a game. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing a bit more of that. The open world nature of Wilds is sick. It was I've still not grasped it. So I still get instanced just like in World. And I think that was because I was in your game and joining your missions.
Yeah, you joined my quest. You didn't, because I just ran out as soon as you got into my world. I was like, yeah, cool, back,
Yeah.
and I ran after a froggy, and then you joined my froggy mission
Yes.
instead of because when you tried to go out, I don't know, I just wasn't there.
Yeah, I tried to go out and find you, and your little triangle wasn't there, and I was like, I don't know where the fuck he is. So yeah, weird.
Beta stuff maybe.
Yeah,
And
I'll
again,
figure it out.
it's. I mean, we're still going to have kind of no idea how it's going to work because we've just been given sort of an enclosed environment with like 6 monsters, basically.
Well, apparently from like press release whatever, and how it can work is you could just run out like you did, and just spend the time. So they're like instanced quests.
Yeah.
So once you start fighting a monster, the quest will start.
Yeah. That's what was
And
happening.
that's so cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what
and
I
then
was
you
doing.
move on to the next.
Yeah.
Same with expeditions and things like this. You just
You're
go
just
out
on one sort of. There's no. I like that. There's no loading screen between the village and or where your little hidey hole and
Yeah.
where you go. It'd be
See,
interesting to see if you've got to set up a little one of those in each area, or if it's just
well, yeah,
automatic.
there was as well. There was a point you ran part, and it said to me like, "Oh, put a camp down here." So you can still put little camps down and fast travel and things like that, which is helpful. And the map isn't like madly large. Do you know what I mean? We're not talking.
If you were running, it'd be huge.
Oh yeah, because
of the birdies.
another new thing is that we've got the what are they called?
Secrets.
Yes, that's it. Well done, dog boys.
Yeah, dog birds. Nice.
They are wicked.
The green.
They're really useful. What's that?
Green chocobos.
Yes. So while you're on one, you can heal. You can.
Can access a
what's
little,
that thing called?
Pouch.
Yeah.
Swap weapons.
Yeah, that's where you swap your weapons, so you can have 2 weapons in this game, which is really cool.
I'm pretty sure
And
you might
sharpen.
be able to like stock it with some items.
Cool. That'd be really useful as well.
It looks like you can. I don't know. Maybe there's like
that
a
makes
small
sense.
pouch sort of thing. It would
jump
make
on,
sense.
do some crafting.
Yeah.
So you can use these guys to launch as well to hit enemies. So if you want to try and go for a mantle, is that what you call it?
Mount.
A mount. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, you can do that. And yeah, the big thing seem like from my perspective, the big thing is this 2 weapons at a time. That seems mad, like positive
cool.
mad, but
yeah,
mad.
yeah. I was trying to utilize it when we were playing. I was swapping between a hammer and a heavy bowgun, but I'm like, I still haven't sort of figured out the whole scope of it. I'm so used to one weapon.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like there's much point having the second one. You know?
I guess, yeah.
Until I figure out what that point is, it's got to be there for a reason, you know. Like, I kind of feel like guns weren't great at wounding, but I might have just not figured that out too much yet. I haven't really figured out the clashing mechanic or anything like that.
Yes, no, I've not done that once. So that's where what is clash? Just for if people don't know.
Everything's got like sort of a block, and if you do it as it's coming in to do certain attacks, you'll sort of like block the attack and you'll like repel them on. You have like a little clash moment with them, and maybe you fuck them up a bit there, but then you can like knock them away, sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's
long sword, or it'll probably just be like you'll do a counter or something, maybe like parry them. But yeah, maybe it's just stuff with shields as well, stuff that can block. I'm not sure.
Okay,
but yeah, I don't know. Guns didn't feel like they could wound. I was doing wounds very often.
Yeah, because that's new to this game, right?
Yeah, you don't. Well, yeah, yes and no. It's an evolution of the making them squishy in world sort of thing. Yeah, it's squishy but on a smaller scale, which kind of works. And Yeah, I guess because when I played Gunlance the first time we played it, I felt like I was making loads of wounds on the monsters. So I feel like maybe certain weapons are better for wounding and certain weapons are better for
Yeah,
doing damage once it's wounded, maybe. And
which
that's the
maybe is the
idea.
2 system. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I was just using a chunky hammer and a big gun, I was like, I'm using two weapons that don't wound particularly well, but deal damage on the wound. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I did. So I kept forgetting to use the, is it L2 to go into that like focus and you can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the wounds. And then every time I do it, I'd be like, well, it's on its back. Like unless I can somehow mount it, I'm not gonna, right, time to
But
put a new
because
wound in there.
that focus mode lets you sort of aim where your attacks go, so you could aim your charge towards that wound, it would still hit it. I
Oh,
think because it would be because you'd be aiming the reticule thing in that, or the cursor or whatever,
okay.
in that general area. I think that's where it would still wound it.
Okay.
And I think if you're in focus mode, maybe there might be a different attack. Like if you look at check the top right corner, because it'll, if you're depending on what attack you've done before, it will change those prompts. So
Yes.
that's why I spent a little bit of time in the training center trying to figure out
Oh,
like
cool.
combos and stuff. So because they added a training center this time.
Nice.
There's one in World too, which is nice. You can go and practice your weapon, get combos out, and see what I can do. There's like points. I picked up a gun launcher, was playing with it for ages, and then I went to the training center. So, what? What can I do? Yeah.
Something I was just thinking about with the two weapon thing. So obviously, when you create skills, generally, a lot of them are about that weapon. So you sort of said quick sheath, great for great swords, things like this. I think that could be where it could get quite hard, because if you're trying to get your skills set up across two different weapons, if you're going to
Yeah.
opposite weapons, then maybe
Yes.
one of them just gets no bonuses from your skills. So
Yeah, if you like having a gun and a melee weapon is gonna be weird because you have quite specific skills for guns. But it depends. I guess it depends what sort of skills they've added in. It's like the monster skill I was talking about was talking about clashes, and you get bonus damage after a clash or after something else.
which is,
So
yeah, I guess.
if there's different ways to utilize, there might be different ways to utilize the skills now, which makes it a bit more balanced between having two weapons. So there's less sort of feeling like that there's useless skills.
Yeah. What do you think of the new monsters?
Oh, they look awesome. Like,
Right.
yeah,
I agree.
they're top tier design. Capcom got hard. That I can't wait to see what else they've got. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen some of the old monsters that have come back. Super happy about them. There's more bugs. There's more weird. There's freaking weird.
I'm all about bugs.
Have you seen the oil octopus?
Is that the one that was on a trailer?
Yeah, maybe it's an octopus that's covered in oil and sets itself on fire.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that one.
I ain't looking forward to that one. Like, I just no. Why?
Just no.
Yeah, it's going to be great, but why? No.
What was the name? So there was two bigger ones that we've fought. So one that kept kicking our ass the first time we tried the beta.
Raydal.
Sorry, can you say again?
Raydal.
Raydal. That's it. Raydal.
Railgun.
Brilliant. That was a great fight. Really cool. It reminded me of like I don't know if you know it, but Vikavolt from Pokemon, because it's got the little like antennas and there's electric between them, so it will just keep getting you with it, and it's it's a bugger. It's a bugger.
It's very well. I would keep saying constant good sentiment towards it. It's a very well designed monster. It's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just a beta version of it as well. Like it's meant to be the apex of the desert. That's a watered down version.
Oh my god!
For sure, that's the baby version.
Baby.
Yeah.
Like and
he's still a fucking railgun.
Yeah, well, that's it. It is a rail, and if you get, I mean, obviously, so to previous it as well in Wilds in the beta, you can't create armor. You get your set pieces, and you don't create any new weapons. So it is what it is. You get what you get. And so it all puts us on the same playing field. It also allows them to sort of put the difficulty to it. Because when we first played, that guy just kept taking me out time and time and time again. And I guess maybe from playing Worlds, I got better.
Yeah, well, I mean, we played the Wilds beta before you'd played any World,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, it was your
Yep.
first jumping back into Monster Hunter. You used to go going around swinging a big sword. Like,
Getting wrecked.
I mean,
Absolutely wrecked.
you know, but everyone's got to go through that.
But as well as that guy, we fought a new yesterday or day before,
Yes.
whenever it was.
The
Chain boy.
Arkfeld. So he's the flagship monster, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. He's him, and there's going to be some crazy little story surrounding him and what he does, maybe.
He's probably going to have evolved forms then as well, won't he?
Oh, yeah. Those chains are going to change.
I don't want
Those
them to.
flappy little bits. Ugh.
So he's basically got chains attached to his arms that he uses to attack, and at points they just turn to red rage.
Yeah.
Ruins you.
He also very fucking cool, well designed fight.
Phenomenal.
Even the Gypsopros, the freaking poison turkey, like the extra little moves they've given him, very cool. Like his tail is terrifying. Like it extends to like 6 times its length and slams on the ground at you. It's just like what? Freaking Gomu Gomu no whip.
Gomu no whip.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about Wilds. So excited. It's now, what have we got?
2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Is it only 2 weeks? 2-3 weeks?
Yeah.
It's going to be really good. Really, really good. You'll see a lot of us playing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to sinking some time into it. It'll seem where they go with it. I want to see like all the extra biomes. So we've only seen 3, I think, so far. There's an icy place. There's the poisony oil place, and the desert. I don't know if the poison oil place is separate or the same biome, but.
Well, you were saying as well that some of the biomes you've seen give the opportunity to bring back some of your some monsters that you used to really like. That's brilliant.
And with the connection to 4 generations, it's got some sweet monsters in it. I'm pretty sure I've seen in one of the trailers. It's got a Niskilla, which is another spider monster. I'm 99%.
I like that one.
She was cool. There's some cool other monsters from that era. How Goreback is awesome. Means Shigari Magara is going to turn up.
And is that confirmed?
What? The Gore Magala, isn't
Gore.
It? Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. That's why it's more of a tie to that game series as well, because they were chasing down Gore Magala and the Frenzy virus. Just means his whole line and variants are going to be in there. And Chaotic Gore Magala on PS5. Oh, it's going to look insane.
Yeah.
So it's the thing, though. Some of these are probably going to be saved for the expansion, which sucks. But we're definitely not going to see Chaotic until the expansion, so we've got to wait like 3 years for that.
That's all right. I probably need the 3 years to get to the rank to be able to fight it. So
that's all right. We should be starting again anyway. Technically.
Oh, Monster Hunter. Thank you so much for bringing me back into this world. All the other video games that I have that aren't being played aren't very happy about it. I will say that. It has massively taken over. But
we've got a whole ecosystem to keep stable, man. You know, so full-time job.
It is a full-time job. Anything else that you'd like to jump in about World or Wilds before we say goodbye to this episode?
Well done, Capcom.
Yeah, good job, Capcom.
They're like one of the most consistent studios out there, I think.
They are one of my favourite.
Yeah. Dragon's Dogma 2 was a bit of a miss, apparently, but
I didn't play it, so I couldn't comment. But Resident Evil has been kicking ass, so that's obviously my where I come from in Capcom historically.
I know Street Fighter 6 is meant to be quite nice.
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool.
Good work, Capcom.
Yeah.
Very good
Keep
work.
It real.
Keep it real. So yeah, if you want to hear more about Monster Hunter World, Wilds, and all of Monster Hunter, stick around because we are going to talk about it more in the future.
Yes.
And I'm sure when Wilds comes out, we will eventually sit down again after we've had a couple of weeks to really get into it, and we'll revisit and see if our opinions have changed.
Yeah. give it a bit more of a comparison now that when we've seen more of a full game.
Yeah, it's hard to compare when you've had such
Yeah.
a little view and you've
Yeah.
not been able to craft and you've not been able to. You don't know what the grind's like. I mean, this
No.
could be one of the most grindy, painful game. Who knows what
Yep.
the RNG is going to be like?
If
That will
92
completely
is
change
half
it.
of 99, then it's gonna be a bad time. But it's also a good time. I don't mind that. I like it.
99s. Brilliant. We will end the podcast here. So until next week, I've been Beyond Joe.
And I remain Sunday Stephen. Thanks for joining us.
In another world.